All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Meet a Raven NFT Artist. I'm your host, Hype Man, and today on the show, I'm going to have the creator of Degen Smokers Club and also the People Project. His name is TJ. So thanks so much for joining me, TJ.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all the viewers checking it out.
Yeah, for sure. So let everybody know, when did you first get into Ravencoin?
So I got into Ravencoin about 2 years ago now. I actually was interested in mining. That's how it all started. And I found a Reddit channel, like, believe it or not. I was just searching through Reddit. I had no idea. I don't know anybody that mines. So I was just trying to find some way that I could figure out how to do it, and stumbled upon a Reddit channel that was for a Ravencoin mining pool. And that's kind of how it all started, man. I started talking with those guys. They helped me get set up, and yeah, I just started mining from there, and then eventually got into NFTs.
That's really cool. So what kind of hardware are you mining with right now?
So I have 12 cards. I have a 10 card rig. It started with a 1060 and a 1050 Ti. It was like my first computers I built a long time ago. They were just what I had sitting around the house. I started with that. Now I have like two 3060s, a 3060 Ti, three 2060s, 2070 Super, 2080. I still have my 1060 actually running. And I think I might be missing one or two, but it's just like a hodgepodge of all like whatever newer cards I could get my hands on, really.
That's cool. It's cool to see that your rigs have grown already to 12 cards. That's pretty quick, and cool to see that mining is what got you into it in the first place. So when did you actually start making your Ravencoin NFT projects?
So that started like September, I guess. September, right around September, end of end of August. I started with a project called Pixel Rex. You may remember it,
Yep.
because I know you've been around in the scene for a long time now. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started, was Pixel Rex. It was this little side project I started, and was just trying to get my feet wet. Essentially, I bought a couple Raven NFTs, and then saw how it worked and tried to create my own art. And then Pixel Rex kind of had a takeoff, had a nice little run, and then as like a fun side project is originally how the Degen started. I just started kind of playing around with different ideas, and I've always loved the crypto punks, and obviously it's kind of a like satirical take on them to some degree. And that's really when it really took off. Was the first sale of a Degen was September 22nd.
That's
So
crazy. And I think, I was around for a lot of it at the beginning. I don't think I bought one until I got number 78 was the first one that I actually bought. I didn't buy any of the original ones, but I was slow to the draw on those. And it's like that sometimes. At the time, I think I bought my first Raven NFT in like April of 2021. And so for me, it was like Raven NFT art marketplace popped up, and then just NFTs popped up, and you know, uh, there were several, starting to get a little bit of competition, more artists
mm,
coming to the scene. Some projects would like come and go, and so I would slow to most draws, just like
oh yeah.
checking people out and figuring out if that's the NFT that I want to get. I think I ended up getting a Pixel Rex GIF that's mixed with the cat bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that's the only one that I got. I think I wanted to get the Pixel Rex Raven miner. That one was so cool, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I didn't make it happen. So I regret that one a little bit, because I think that one would still be cool to have. But
Yeah.
so yeah, go back to talking about the Degen Smokers. Kind of what explain to everybody kind of how that works and what you did to make that project happen. And I think your Discord drops were like the coolest thing at the beginning. There were so many people coming to the Discord, and I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, the Discord actually still has a lot of life, man. We get people joining all the time, because there are still some Degen smokers available right now. With Raven growing, we're gonna see that changing here very soon. But yeah, I really got blessed, man. I feel like with the people that ended up joining and helped grow the community at first, it really it's still currently like the biggest project on Raven, which is it's mind blowing to me. I mean, I obviously am super thankful and can't appreciate everybody enough for it. But yeah, I just kind of, like I said, I was doing Pixel Rex, and it was like an idea I had was to kind of do like a play, on the CryptoPunks, but on Raven. And, I always liked like the term Degen, I just think it's funny. And, I'd always been like a smoker. So I was just like, that'd be cool to do like a CryptoPunk that kind of was like smoking and just kind of like a degenerate, right? Because there's kind of like a stigma that comes with smoking, So
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny to kind of try to make a play on that, and just cool. And yeah, so I started making them, and I made a Discord, and I got lucky. There weren't a lot of artists at the time really running Discords for Raven, like NFTs. There were a couple, and I started doing that, and then I kind of, as an initial like upside to being a part of the Discord, right? Because they're all a generative project, so there are rarity to each one of them, and there's 3,333 degens, all one of one, all unique, with rarity traits built in, and kind of as a leg up, because they would list and then be sold so fast. I started doing 20 in the morning, and then releasing on the Discord 20 in the morning and then 20 at night. They weren't for sale there, but being a Discord member, you got to at least see what was going to be coming up in that drop, right? So you could kind of be ready, kind of get your eyes on whatever you wanted to see, and be a little quicker on the draw maybe than just the announcement that went out on Twitter that was just like a kind of state, like a blanket announcement about the drop.
Which was kind of funny because it led to some people getting butthurt because they weren't quick to the draw, and people learning how just NFTs worked, and how you have to submit the transaction ID and place the order, and if you're the first one to do that. So I think some people even learn that you can, once the drops are happening, you can go ahead and send money and then try to be the first one. So I mean, it evolved. Like, people learned how to game the system, and then it was the people that could game the system versus the people that could game the system if you really wanted the NFT, which was cool. I think maybe that made a headache for Ryan because he was probably refunding people, but I think it was a very cool way to inspire fear of missing out and people wanting to really collect the rare ones. I think Raven hadn't seen anything like that as far as real competition to grab an NFT as quick as you can. So I think that was a really cool part that your project brought to the scene for sure.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, a lot of people kind of credit me for being the like first generative project on Ravencoin, like at least really big one that was had a lot of rarity traits, and was a little more along the lines of stuff you see on like Ethereum or Solana. So it was really nice. And definitely Ryan had some headaches in there trying to figure out how to work, because like you said, it was so new at the time, and nobody was really doing it, and there wasn't a lot of FOMO like that with NFT projects at the time. There is now, thankfully. The community just keeps growing, and it's awesome. But yeah, at the time there really wasn't. So it was kind of a headache for Ryan. I think it kind of worked out for me sometimes, because people, like you said, would try to game the system, but they would usually eye up a couple, and they might have one in mind that they really wanted, but if they missed that one, they would immediately jump to another one. So it kind of promoted a little bit of like a lot of people buying what they could get their hands on at the time. So it was nice. It was really, really good, and it was an awesome time. It was a lot of fun, man.
I know it's crazy to think back on how essentially small the community was at that time, but how much competition there really was. And I think I want to say that compared to a lot of series that I think I watched you evolve your art through series. Series one had certain traits, and watching the series grow and watching each series change and your art get better, and it was well thought out in my opinion. I think it grew as you grew, which was really, it's just like an evolution. So I think that's really cool. It's cool to see that in a project like that. So what do you think, so basically, to update everybody, the 3,333 Dgens have already been produced. They're all either sold or available for sale. Yep. So what is the future of the Degen Smokers? Are you thinking utility, or what are some of the things coming to mind for the future of that?
Yeah, so right now we're kind of just leaving what's available out there, still on just NFTs. I had talked with Ryan about potentially moving them to Ravenist, but with it being such a big project and everything, I think we're going to leave them there. So you may see some resales available on Ravenist right now, because I know that that's a really popular Ravencoin NFT site a lot of people go to. But if you're looking for one that's still, you know, on the market, it'll be just NFTs.io online. You'll be able to find them there. But yeah, so the plan is we'll have a derivative project. I'm kind of in the middle right now of running out the people series, and I really want the Dgens to have the same kind of hype and excitement and really just cool aspect to them. So I'm trying to roll that out in a way that you know, isn't too rushed, and I really want it to be really well thought out. So I'm taking some time there, and I don't really like to, you know, get caught up in doing too many projects at once right now. So since the people have been going on, you know, which will be a much smaller run than the Dgens were, you know, we're probably going to run those out, and then we'll see the derivative project come out here real soon. Without giving too much away, I think the plan's going to be, you know, there will be like kind of a middle step that any previous collectors of the Dgens will have, that you know, they'll be able to purchase, and then they will actually be gifted the derivative once the derivatives are released. And essentially the floor will be set at a significantly increased price, so that hopefully it brings some good value to the collectors, is kind of the plan here, so that you know, we can kind of keep the hype going, and really see some exciting things with the way people will be able to play out the purchasing of like kind of the middle part that'll get you to the derivative. So I think it'll be really fun, man. I got some exciting things coming.
That sounds really interesting. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it play out. And I agree with what you say about thinking out the project and really understanding kind of how you want the utility to work, or how you want to go forward with your project, because I think a lot of people, they see other people having great success on Ravencoin. And I personally am not an artist. I have thought about creating some sort of art to try to sell, because there is the money grab situation, but I am not good at art. I do some photography, and I've been talking about using some photography in my business and using Ravencoin NFTs for my dog training business, where I'm talking with a couple different people, and maybe I'll talk to you about it too. But I kind of want to make like a template where, you know, I can post a picture of the dog, and it will have, you know, my business name and that dog's name. And it's something that I can just simply go in and change the template for each dog. But, you know, if they come and their dog trains with me, then they get, you know, basically this NFT of their dog. So
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
I think it'll be cool. It's, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
no,
not
that's cool.
something, but
That's cool.
yeah, it's exactly, it's something else that I can do. I don't think it'll be hard once I have the template. I take
Yeah,
pictures of the dogs anyways. So it's just, you know, what else, how can I use Ravencoin in my business and kind of put my money where my mouth is a little bit. So that's
yeah,
my plan, you know. But I think thinking out your project and thinking out rarities, or are you going to be hand selecting things? What is going to make your project unique to collectors? Because as a collector, you know, if it's basically the same thing as the next one, it doesn't
yeah,
really motivate me too much to try to get it. You know, if they're extremely rare, or if the art's really good, that's going to motivate me, because, you know, I see someone come and produce one NFT, and that's like all they've produced, and I'm like, where's more, you know?
yeah,
And which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I love to see the
yeah.
scene growing, and I love to see the art uh you know, really evolve, you know, as Ravencoin's evolving. So that's a great, you know, spot for the Dgens to be at. I think, you know, focusing and just thinking it out. So what about the people? Explain to the people listening, what is
Yeah.
the People Project?
Yeah, so that project's, you know, the name is the people. I usually refer to it as like the people of Ravencoin. It's kind of just, you know, a lot of like iconic characters, or you know, like pop culture type things that I kind of think are interesting or funny or cool. You know, and I kind of make them into my own version of a person, and you know, then put them up. And you know, I've actually had some pretty good success with that. We've had a lot of people really liking the project, thankfully. And you know, it'll keep growing. So I think you know, been trying to lay it out a little more so we can get into some really fun stuff with that one too, because I think that we'll see a lot of you know, cool iconic people to come, is hopefully my goal, that I'll be able get on there. But yeah, so that's a collection. It'll be 500 people. Right now we're at like 100 and I think it's like 109, I believe is what the number is right now. As of today, there's 109 people released. So a few more to go. It's a much smaller collection than like the Djinns. Like I said, it's nothing like a 3,000 project or anything like that. These are actually all handmade like voxel images. So they're actually like semi like 3D renderings of different things that people, or like I said, like iconic characters that I kind of make my own do my own take on.
That's so cool. And do you mind sharing what program you make the
Yeah.
people with?
Yeah. So I personally use Magic of Voxel to actually make the people. I really like their stuff. The way like their actual program works and set up. It took me, because I'm not familiar with, I'd never been familiar with that. It was just something I started kind of playing with at first. And it took a little bit of time to get used to and get comfortable with, but I really like it. I enjoy using it a lot, and it does a really good job. Like, you can kind of set your render to be really high. So I try to like get like a really high render on all of them so they look really clear as possible and stuff like that. So
Yeah, they look good. I think that's cool. I mean, I have no idea what the program really looks like, but as a person that's just like used to computer software, I can envision, you using and manipulating the character in there and doing it all. So it's cool to kind of have a name to it, and if people want to go mess with it themselves, they can. I guess right now, if you wanted to, would be a decent time to share your screen, and you can kind of talk to us if you want to engage and start with the people project and
yeah,
show that some, and then if you want to go back and show some Djinns, I'll just let you kind of have the floor.
yeah. Let me get this up. I actually already have this open, so I'll just start here, I guess. So this is actually the program Magic of Voxel. This is kind of how everything looks as far as when you're building them. This is currently one that's up for auction right now. Him and the other Super Bowl team are kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, so this is how it looks. You know what I mean? It's like I said, like, it's a full 3D. Like I believe that I can do a little more with it than I have. I'm kind of still playing with it and trying to learn, because this is all new to me as well. But and you can kind of go and render them out here, which is really cool. Different ways to, angles, different kind of stuff like that. But yeah, this is kind of just the basic layout of Magic of Voxel and how it all works. But let me see here. You have the Ravenist up right now on the screen now?
No, I still have Magic of Voxel still up right now.
Let's see here. All right, let me double check. There we go.
Yep,
That one
there you go.
working? There we
Yep,
go. All right. Sorry
perfect.
about that.
No problem at all.
But yeah, so this is actually the people's page on Ravenist right now. Like I said, we've had some pretty good volume, got a good amount of owners. A lot of times they're trading out though, man. I mean, there's a lot of resales going on, different things like that. Like I said, this is currently the two that are most recent and up for auction right now. So you can kind of bid on your favorite team, if you will, just a little fun, something to do. But yeah, so this is kind of the collection, how it looks. And unfortunately, I don't think your viewers will see it today, but right now we actually have a sale on the last DSC, so Degen Smokers Club kind of rendition that I did of a people. We threw him up for a 24-hour sale. So right now he's only 1,200 Raven. The floor price is, the floor price is generally 1,800 Raven on these, on the people. But yeah, we threw him up for a 24-hour sale, just kind of, at least out here in Ohio, it's gloomy and snowy, right? So I was just trying to have a little fun, kind of brighten somebody's day,
That's
At
cool.
least
I guess for some
nice.
reason I didn't even realize it was a Djinn. So I have a feeling that if it's still available when this is over, that it might be gone right
Yeah,
after. Because I think that's cool. I mean, as someone who has collected Djinns, I would love to have that person. So
yeah.
that's sweet.
We've had this one, and we've had one more that I released that was kind of like a little take on
Yeah,
a
right
DJ.
there.
This guy right here. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we
Very
kind of did
cool.
the iconic water pipe had to be involved in it, I feel like. So, we threw it on his shirt, just something to spice it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is the collection currently. Like I said, they're all sold right now. I mean, anything you can get on here will be resale at the moment. I try to release on average 2 to 3 a day. Sometimes, I'll release a few more. I usually, because I work for myself now, I work on 3 or 4 of them at a time and try to work them out so that, I can keep them rolling out. Because since they are all handmade, not like a generative project, they do take some time. So I'll work on a few and then, start rolling them out. But yeah, generally about 2 to 3 drop a day. But yeah, there's actually none available other than that DSC one that's up there, and then the 2 that are up for bid right now. But yeah, so we've been really happy. It seems like the community really likes them a lot. So I've been, super thankful and appreciative of the community coming and checking them out even and just looking at them. So it's nice to see people enjoying the work I do, I guess,
I mean, that's what it's all about. I think, having some satisfaction that people like what you're doing, and, you've really been pumping them out lately, which is cool to see. Like you said, almost sometimes several a day come available, or I think that's so cool too. And, because there's so few available, you can see some of these prices that some of them, are being relisted at, and what every one of them sells for. So the fact that, you're keeping a high floor, and that basically everyone is being bought as soon as it's available. The Ravencoin community is not huge and only doing 500. I know Lazio's buying up a lot of them too, but which is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see anybody believe in a project like that, and so I mean, part of Ravencoin NFTs, I was having some discussions with people, is as a collector, if you buy one of these for 1800 Raven, if Ravencoin in the future is much more expensive, do you still want anything less than 1800 Raven? Because that's what you paid for it,
Right.
And so I don't know if it's going to work like that or not. It would be nice for the collectors if it did, but this might be something that, if there's only 500 and it's, 5 years from now and Ravencoin has really taken off and Ravencoin NFTs are huge, these are, some of the first projects, and I think that will have value if it, goes that way. So I think it's cool to see currently where the, market is for Ravencoin NFTs, and where we're at and how much we've grown.
Yeah, and actually, dude, it's been interesting. So, for instance, because they're all one of one, right? So, you find an icon or like a character you like that, you really want. That's the only one that's going to come out, right? So it's interesting compared to the Degen projects because it's just I'm always learning just like everybody else, and this is kind of a totally different avenue than the Degens were. And it's just interesting to see some of the resales, like this one right here. He sold all 4 of them sold immediately at 1800. Most of them do, generally speaking. They usually, it's been insane to see how fast they actually get bought up. But he got bought for 1800 Raven, and later that night he flipped it for 3600 Raven. So it's been interesting, man. And we've had a lot of people do that. Like this rendition I did of Prince was he sold for 2,500. The guy flipped him for 5,000.
Crazy.
We've seen some pretty nice flips so far for a project that's still really early on in most instances. With there only being 109 available right now. We've seen a lot of people actually flip them and get some value, and it's really cool to see. I mean, I love seeing it. I originally, when the Degens came out, that was my hope, right? Was I had felt like Raven was really undervalued with NFTs. Like nobody really knew about NFTs on Ravencoin, and still a lot of people don't. I mean, it is still a small, community of people, but like we've talked about, it's always growing, and it's amazing to see it growing. But I just felt like it needed projects that would bring some hype, and I was just hoping to add to that. I mean, I didn't think that it was going to be just my project or anything like that. But I was hoping to add to that and to see people being able to move the floors and things like that really, start bringing eyes and attention to a project like Ravencoin in general, so it was really interesting, man. I've really, really enjoyed the journey, and just getting to have people who collect my art's really cool, man. Like I'm just so thankful to like the community in general, like all of Ravencoin. They've all been really helpful, really nice to me. I mean, I have to give a big shout out to Ryan from Just NFTs and Ravenous. Like when I was first starting out, he really helped me, and him and I, didn't know each other at all at that time. And he, really helped me get going. And there's so many other people in the community that answered my questions or anything like that. Like this community is just an awesome community. I advise all the time, and in the real world. You know, people talk to me about it and stuff. I tell people just to get into Twitter and you know, talk to some of the people in the community, or join, you know, a Discord of a project you like, and just talk to people, man. They're super nice and super helpful. Like, you'd be amazed at how cool the community really is.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you want to end your screen share, you can,
Yeah,
unless you
yeah,
have more to show, you can totally
yeah.
show more if you have
I guess
more.
the only thing other than that is
Yeah,
just
show the
the
Dgens.
yeah,
Yeah.
as I say, the Degen Smoker page. So like I said, just nfts.io is actually the website they're available on. And then here's still like some of what's available. You know, we just did some funky ones that are all fun. And you know, this is this right here is actually series 7. So there's 7 total series of the Dgens. So this is just, you know, the what's available still here on the seventh series. But yeah, you know, check it out. Any viewers that are checking it out, check them out. See if you find anything you like. And if you know, have any questions on Twitter, you know, my handle's Degen Smokers, and you know, we have the rarity chart up there. And if you end up joining the Discord, we also have all of the prior rarity charts listed there as well, so you can kind of check them out and you know, see if you find anything you like.
Yeah, if you want to go back, if you want to, show a couple of the different series of the Dgens, you totally could. I kind of forgot that we hadn't showed that part yet, so I didn't really mean to rush you or anything like that.
Oh, no, you're
So
good.
yeah, if you want to pull it back up and just show them, I think it would be cool, because I kind of talked about how you kind of evolved and how I saw you evolve, you know, through the different series. You know, so if you can go back, I don't know what's available still, but I think it'll be cool for, you know, people to see some of the older stuff and then kind of see, you know, because they're so different, you know, in
The
my
evolution,
opinion.
yeah.
So
No, yeah, they've taken some changes, man. And like, you know, it all being a learning experience, because I had never, you know, drawn NFTs or anything like that. So, or had to do with like deal with the minting process of anything before. So, you know, there were things I learned along the way. Like at first, with the first, I think it was the first 2 series, is uh they actually didn't have like the tops of their heads, which was fine because they always had hats or hair or whatever. But you know, I thought it would be cool to incorporate things like you know, like a bald head or like a mohawk, right? But they didn't have the top of their head, so if you know, you couldn't really do anything like this. Otherwise, you'd end up with like, you know, maybe different skin tones for the top of the head. Like nothing would match up. So it was kind of a, you know, learning experience as I was still doing it. So you're totally right. They definitely did evolve from the beginning to later on, you know, as I kind of learned more things and everything else.
I think
Trying to
as a collector, you know, I was able to, you know, go on there and see what's more rare, you know, like eventually so at the beginning, you know, a lot of it was just a cigarette, you know, and you can see these vapes and these different, you know, smoking options that he's added, which those are pretty rare. But through the series they were less rare, and it's like he has like an ape skin, which is
yeah,
just in like maybe the first series or the first couple of series. I'm not exactly sure how many series it's in, but
yeah,
it's not
I
in
think it was
any
in
of
the
the
first
future
2. Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I think it was in the first 2, and then after that, that actually went away. And then yeah, we actually even later on, like you said, we added different smoking utensils, and then we actually even have like non-smokers. So there are some that a lot of people were that thought were really cool that don't have any smoke, right? Because it's kind of ironic, like this one right here, like, you know, they're part
Yeah.
of the Degen Smokers, but there's, you know, he's not smoking. And you know, we have ones with like COVID masks now, as far as when Series 7 came out, that you know, also doesn't have a smoke. You know, we kind of tried to have some fun with it and change things up. But like you said earlier on in the series, I mean, they were all predominantly just, you know, like just regular like joints, I guess, is you know, that's what they were, you know, supposed to be. So,
Joint,
but
yeah, I think I might have said cigarette, but yeah, sorry, joint, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
oh yeah,
mean,
no worries.
it's been so cool to watch, and I think you phasing out some of the things, like I said, I think that was so well thought out, because I think in the future those will be things that collectors might want. You know, there's only
Yeah.
so many, and it's only from that series. So I think the people, you know, if you're watching this video right now when it first comes out, you know, I think we're extremely early on in the Ravencoin NFT space, so I think it's just going to be very interesting to watch it grow, and you know, to watch maybe the value of Raven and also Ravencoin NFTs as a whole grow. So that's just to me an exciting space to be in.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. I'm super excited to be here and just watching the community grow, man. Like seeing all these artists coming out all the time with like different cool projects, different cool art, man. Like it's so cool to see and watch them grow as well. You know, I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, I look forward to doing a lot more projects and just having fun hanging out in the community, man, getting to know people, doing different things, man. It's been a really, really good time and like a huge blessing in my life, honestly, man.
As I know it's kind of cool. It's like sometimes you just stumble, right into your own destiny. But what are some of the things that you think have made you so successful?
Um, so I think I guess if I have to credit it to one thing, I personally think being super transparent. So like everybody, at least most of the early on people that were getting into the project as far as collectors, when they would talk to me and things, I was very upfront and open with them and just genuine about how I felt about the project, where I thought it was going to go. And I think that they felt really good about the project then and wanted to start collecting. And communicating with your community is super, super vital, man. I like can't stress that enough. That's super important. People really appreciate it. And I mean, those are the people, that give your project value, right? Like, I mean, I can put out as cool art as I want, but if I don't have a community behind it, it doesn't mean anything, So really advise, especially people that want to get into the scene and everything like that, when you start to build a community, don't take it lightly, right? Like those people are investing in you and your project. So, really appreciate them and try to stay, in steady communication with them or answer any questions they might have, even if it's not related to my project, like, I mean, I was brand new to this at one point and, it was just a way for, I had questions for people that people thankfully answered for me. Right. So that, I think that that's a huge deal. I think, having somewhere like a Discord or whatever, you see fit as far as somebody else doing a project, but somewhere that maybe you can like group your community together, right? To like have like-minded collectors and people in there being able to communicate even with themselves, right? Because it seems maybe like minor, but it gives people a sense of like belonging, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm a part of this community and I'm a part of something that I think is cool, and I get to talk with other people and see what maybe their thoughts on the project are, and things like that I think are really important. And then just really keeping a super steady cadence of like what you're doing with your project, as far as like with the drops, right? I used to get people telling me when I was doing the Degen drops still, when they were actually still coming out, they were amazed at how like steady I was able and consistent I was able to be with it, because it was 2 times a day, right? So it was, I generally, I'm Eastern US time zone, but I would 10:30 in the morning and then 7:30 p.m. EST were like my drop times, right? So and granted, I mean, nobody's perfect. It wasn't like on the dot at 10:30, 7:30 every day, but it was always there, right? Like that, I was always very consistent with that. I mean, and people really appreciated that. And I think that that's a very big deal as well, pushing your word about your project out there. I say it all the time, and I know people, in the community that I'm sure I get like, I wear them down, and I feel really bad, and I appreciate so much everybody dealing with it in the community. But putting out your project, no new people that are coming to collect are ever going to find you if you're not willing to, be on somewhere like Twitter and pushing your work all the time and showing it. I think that that's really, really important. I think that that's why I thankfully had a lot of success in the community, and why it worked out for me personally. If I have to credit to anything, I think those reasons are very vital to why.
I agree. And, I think as somebody who likes, I'm involved in Ravencoin, you're involved in Ravencoin. We're both involved in Ravencoin NFTs. I think the sense of belonging you get of being in the Ravencoin community is there. And then on top of that, the even smaller Ravencoin NFT community, and the Twitter community that we have,
Yeah.
that's some miners and NFT people and people that have no idea about some of either of them. But
Yeah.
I think, watching that community grow, and essentially if you're watching this and if you're an artist and you're trying to put out NFTs, Ravencoin is a great place, and finding you know, us on Twitter is a great place to start for, you know, if you need to mint a project or you just want to know more information, because if you are great at producing art and you have good high quality art, I think if you come into this scene right now, you're going to be successful. It's just what I see, you know, and I see some projects that I don't even like or think that the art is that good be successful, you know, and it is what it is, but it's to each their own. Everybody likes their own thing. And sometimes people don't collect what I collect, and it's fine. You know, that's the beauty of it is it's art, it's digital art. Some of it's very rare, some of it's not rare. So it's just, you know, what are you trying to collect and how much are you trying to spend? And as an artist, you know, I think it's a great entry point for people to come in and, you know, have like a human readable name that's basically like your business that you can use, you know, on the Ravencoin blockchain and mint everything, mint your different projects. And it's just very clear and organized and concise, and it's not hard to do. So if anybody has any questions, if you made it this far in this video, please comment below if you want to get involved in this space. We would love to help you. So what is your kind of 2022 plan as far as, you know, it sounds like the derivatives are going to come, you're still working on the people.
Yep. Yeah.
What are you thinking?
So yeah, at the moment, that's as far as my kind of roadmap to the projects is rolling out all of the rest of the people project right now while I'm kind of planning, getting the art together and really getting everything in order for the Degen derivative. So those will all roll out. After that, we'll see the Degen derivative, which gives some people that are maybe seeing this video or, you know, people in the community some more time to check out what's available as far as what's left of the Degen project from prior. So, you know, it gives some people some time there. But yeah, we'll see, you know, the people finish that rollout. Then we'll move to the Degen derivative and then kind of, you know, trying to feel out what will eventually be the next projects. You know, I really haven't thought too much because like I said, I try to focus when I'm doing them on kind of one project at a time, just so I don't get caught up in too many different things. And then, you know, you can't really finish one project. And I think it's super important to collectors, your NFT project, everything to be like super focused on what you're doing in the moment and making sure that everything turns out how you think it should turn out. So that's kind of it for now. And then the rest of the year, really, with any other time that I've left between doing NFTs is, you know, I'm getting a mining farm together. That was kind of my big thing with a lot of the Raven and whatnot that I made from my NFT projects was I've always had a passion for mining as well. And that's where I'm kind of taking my, you know, investments to. So like I said, I have 12 cards now. I actually ordered up some more stuff that's on the way to get another 12 card rig up and going. So that's pretty much it, man. Just mining, getting out the people project, and then getting the degens rolled out.
Your 12 cards right now, are they mining Ravencoin?
Oh yeah.
And what's your hash rate about?
So it's about 400 right now.
Sweet,
a little under. It's a little under than that, but it's about like 320 or something like that. I believe. Cool. I have to look, but yeah.
It's cool to see the farm grow, and it's cool to see that, you know, as a person that believes in Ravencoin and being a Ravencoin NFT artist, you're taking, you know, some of your money and going and, you know, basically reinvesting it to keep mining Ravencoin for the future. So it sounds like you have an extremely long-term mindset, you know, on Ravencoin and maybe Ravencoin NFTs. And I think what you're doing, less is more. I think, you know, being, you know, I think the people is so cool, like you said, because there's only going to be one of those people and there's only going to be 500 of the project. So I think you're creating something there that's going to be very limited to collectors, which I think is what's really needed right now, because the Ravencoin community is not huge. It will be, you know, so I think it is cool to have some bigger projects like you have and some smaller projects that are really going to get hype. And I like your mindset of, sounds like everything you're trying to do with your Ravencoin NFT projects is to just bring more people into the scene and make them want to get into Ravencoin NFTs in general, which is great.
Yeah, man, that's I'm really bullish on Ravencoin in general. So yeah, I'm you know, all in on Raven. And other than that, man, yeah, like I said, with the projects, you know, the degens originally started as something that I was trying to bring a piece that, you know, you see on the bigger blockchains to Ravencoin that, you know, I always thought was really cool, right? Like the generative part of NFTs and different things like that. So, you know, that was the initial thought. And then, like I said, it was trying to build something that I was hoping and, you know, was lucky enough that got big enough to get a lot of attention, and bring some awareness and hopefully, you know, bring hype. But really, you know, I just wanted to be a part of the community at the beginning, man. Like I still do, you know, I just had really loved Raven from the beginning. When I found it, like I said, it was through, as odd as it is. I mean, I know a lot of people go there. The only reason it's odd for me is I don't generally use Reddit, but I just had nobody to talk to about mining or how to get into it. And stumbled on a Reddit thing, and it was some guys from a Raven community that were like in a mining pool. Actually, it was Dark Fiber Mines. You know, you can find them on Twitter, but they're kind of the, I forget exactly who it was in the community or whatever, but they were the people that really got me into Raven at all, because they took the time to talk to somebody that was brand new, had no idea what they were doing when it came to mining or how to even do it, and walked me all the way through it, man. So, you know, I more than thankful to them and everybody else in the community.
That's crazy, man. You're like the Cinderella story of Ravencoin.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. But yeah, you know, we'll see a lot of people doing that, man. I truly believe it, and I know it'll happen, man. It's only a matter of time before Raven gets so big that, you know, a lot of these other artists and a lot of these other people on blockchains, you know, start coming here. And we're already seeing it. I mean, we're seeing the growth is getting really, really crazy, really fast. So it's beautiful to see, man.
I agree. Yeah, the resales, the different projects coming up. There's a lot of hype right now. I think,
Mhm.
you know, I saw that statistic that, you know, there was $44 billion of NFT sales in 2021. And I'm sure that doesn't include Ravencoin, I would say.
Right.
So, you know, it's very interesting. You know, I think the market is so much huger than anybody will realize for a while. So,
Oh yeah.
um, well, I think we'll
Yeah.
about wrap it up unless you have anything else that you think you want to say or questions you have or anything like that.
No, I guess, you know, if you liked anything of my projects that you saw, man, come check out my Twitter. Like I said, the handle's at Degen Smokers. We have our Discord link there. All are welcome, man. You know, we just want to have fun and see Raven growing. So I mean, even if you come to join just to hang out and talk, you know, it doesn't have to be just about my NFTs or my project or anything like that, man. You know, the more the merrier. So, you know, I'll leave it with that.
I love that, man. I love that humble approach of, you know, even if you don't want to buy anything, if you want to just come look at the project or you just want to come hang out and talk to us on
Yeah, man.
Discord or on Twitter, you know, we'd love to help get you into Raven, get you into Ravencoin NFTs. I'm sure there's some Ravencoin NFT project that will spike your interest and make you want to collect something. If you guys have any questions about mining, I think we'd be a great resource too. So well, thank you so much for your time, TJ. I've had an absolute blast, and I got to learn a lot more about your projects and your mindsets and kind of what's going to go on for, you know, your 2022. So
Yeah.
thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, and thanks everybody for viewing again, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, I'll catch you on Twitter, brother.
All right, take care, man.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.